Greetings, folks. This is Volt, back for more Arkham Horror, the living card game. After a bit of a hiatus, we're coming in with the latest Mythos Busters Night of the Zealot campaign play-along. I'm going to include a link to Daniel of Quick Learner's video explaining the campaign play-along, which if you haven't watched yet or are otherwise unfamiliar, you should pause now and go watch that to explain what's going to be coming up here. Seen that? All right, now, what I'm trying here is a solo Guardian relying on the Crowbar from the Drowned City card pool, which is the card pool choice I'm taking for the campaign play-along. The Crowbar, of course, is a hand slot asset that lets you fight with +2 combat, but most importantly, investigate using combat instead of intellect. And for someone like Daniela Reyes, with 5 combat and 1 intellect, the value of that is obvious. Daniel of Quick Learner and PAX have a series of videos where they attempt the first scenario, various campaigns, with Nathaniel Cho relying on the Crowbar for investigating. I'm going to link those as well. That's what I originally anticipated trying for this, since they weren't doing it. They've got a couple of other decks going. But when I voiced my intention to do so, PAX put together a Daniela Reyes deck, which I have tweaked a bit and am showing here. I'm not going to go through every card in this deck. Some of this is fairly standard. We have a flashlight backup in case we can't find the crowbars. We've got Greta Wagner for boost to combat and some other clue gathering potential, evidence, glory. But there are a couple of cards here I want to call out because the card pool includes cards that have been teased from the Chapter 2 Evergreen starter decks. So a couple of those are in here. Lie in Wait is from the Miguel de la Cruz deck. I'm very excited to try this. 2-cost event, fast, attached to your location. It's a trap, limit 1 trap per location. After an enemy enters this location, as a reaction, you can exhaust Lie in Wait to fight using combat or agility with +1 skill value. And you can choose to discard Lie in Wait for the attack to deal +1 damage. You can trigger this from any location. So you can lay a trap for an enemy and then hit them when they show up, either entering the location or spawning. It also has very good icons for Daniela in particular, who is going to be relying on combat and willpower. This is almost essentially another Unexpected Courage. I can see multiple opportunities to use this over the Night of the Zealot campaign. We'll see how many of them see play. I'm also taking, instead of the standard machete, the service revolver. This is from the Chapter 2 Tommy deck. Cost 2, hand asset, item, weapon, firearm, police, 3 ammo. It does not have a regular action activate ability. Instead, it has a reaction. After an enemy attacks you, you can spend an ammo to fight with combat. Targeting that enemy, you get +1 combat and deal +1 damage. We'll see. I'm going to try it. This, I'm sure, will be more useful in Chapter 2 Daniela. As a reminder, Chapter 1 Daniela's ability is after an enemy attacks you, accept an attack of opportunity you provoked, but even if the attack was canceled, you can, as a reaction, either deal a damage to the enemy or automatically evade it. Chapter 2 Daniela has a similar ability, doesn't work quite the same way, but it works even off of attacks of opportunity you provoke. So my ability to connect together Daniela's ability here, plus the service revolver's ability, is a little bit hindered, but we're going to try it, see how we do. I think that's mainly it. I do want to call out this side deck. This is not an actual side deck. What this is, I completed the Innsmouth Conspiracy Campaign Play-Along last time around. I didn't record it on my channel. I did it 2-player with Cosmic Turtle from the Discord. But having completed it, I can take a contract to allow me to add 1 Innsmouth Conspiracy card to the card pool. What you're seeing here are the Innsmouth Conspiracy cards Daniela can take that don't rely on Bless or Curse, but Bless. It is a vanishingly small list, and much of this is not of interest to solo Daniela either. Mariner's Compass, using Intellect, we're not doing that. Keen Eye, boost Intellect or Combat. I mean, combat we'd use, but there are far more valuable uses for our resources than Keen Eye level 0. Riot Whistle. It's a fine card, not for solo. That's it, level 0. And level 1 plus, Purifying Corruption. I mean, treacheries are kind of not what I'm concerned about. I'd rather keep my soak for actual dealing with enemies. Shrine of the Moirai, however that's pronounced, it's a very powerful card, but you need other powerful cards in your deck to leverage this to its best capability. In a higher XP campaign than Knight of the Zealot, maybe. Here, no. Butterfly Effect, third time's a charm. These are like test insurance cards. I've never actually played either of these. I don't think solo Daniela is the place to try them. Maybe a multiplayer sometime. Dig Deep 4 is an interesting option and is one I significantly considered, since it is a possible endgame way to deal with the final act of Devourer below. But ultimately, looking at the rest of the card pool, I have some other ideas for upgrades to try to deal with that. And Daniela having a baseline for willpower does mean she's already at a reasonable spot for dealing with that final act anyway. So what I'm going to use the contract for to add is everyone's favorite, Unrelenting. It synergizes with Bless, but you don't need Bless for Unrelenting to be useful. And really, it is a card that has draw 2 cards printed on it. And our options for that kind of effect in this card pool are quite limited. So that's what I'm going to use the contract to add. Let us roll our random basic weakness. I always like to roll it from within the relevant card pool, so that I believe that should happen. Sure, what do we get? The Silver Twilight Acolyte. Well, that's interesting, because boy howdy, is that someone that I don't want to have attacking. This is what I had as Gabriella. I'll have to double check. I know I've dealt with the Silver Twilight Acolyte recently. I can't remember where. Oh, it was in when I played Dark Matter with Daniel Quick Learner. That's right. Well, he's back. Can't keep a good Acolyte down. Well, all right. That's our deck. Pausing here, and we will set up the first scenario of the campaign play-along, where we will be playing Return to the Knight of the Zealot, a scenario that, of course, I have a lot of recent experience with, which all probably means it's going to go south very quickly. Be right back. All right, here we go. We've got Return to the Knight of the Zealot set up. We have our regular setup that we're very familiar with. We've got a Doom track of 3 on the first agenda. We need to gather 3 clues and spend them in the guest hall. We've got Daniela's deck. Let's take a look at our opening hand. That is a whole lot of not stuff that I want to keep. I'm looking for something that'll get me clues in a more permanent way than a single copy of evidence. So we're going to put this entire set back in discard. And what else do we get? Well, we didn't get Crowbar, but we did get Greta and an e-cash and a service revolver, which is probably going to be our first 3 turns. Play those. And then if an enemy shows up, maybe we'll kill it and use Greta to get that first clue. So let's shuffle the rest of our mulligan back. And let's get started. We are here in the study. 3 shroud, 1 clue. You can spend 2 actions to draw 3 cards if you're the lead. Forced when an enemy attempts to spawn to a location not in play, put that location in play and spawn that enemy here. Well, let's get started. We will spend 5 to play Greta Wagner. Our combat is now 6. And when we defeat an enemy, we can exhaust Greta and deal a damage to her to discover a clue. Second action, we will play Emergency Cash to get 3 resources. Third action, we will play this Service Revolver. And see... We're going to see how many times I say, I wish this were a machete. It might be none. It might be none. All right, that's our first turn. No enemies. We upkeep. An overpower. Okay, Mythos. We're at 1 Doom. Let's shuffle the encounter deck. And our encounter card is, well, we got an enemy, a Grave Eater. Fight 2, health 2, evade 2. After it attacks you, discard a card at random from your hand. I wish this was a machete. That said, the discard a card at random from your hand does make letting it attack you like be that much more of a problem. I think what I do, I think I use the study ability to draw 3 cards, which will trigger an attack of opportunity. We can't use Daniela's ability, but we can use the service revolver, which hopefully will kill it. And then I can either play evidence or use Greta. I am going to have to discard a card when it attacks me. And, I mean, they're fine cards. I'd rather not discard one of them, but I think that's what I have to do. So, first action, we're going to use the draw 3. The Grave Eater attacks. We will take a damage and a horror on Daniela. We discard a card at random. There goes Take Heart. And now we attack as a reaction with the service revolver. We're swinging 7 against 2. -1 is a pass. We do 2 damage. Defeated. And we'll play the evidence. We'll save Greta for later. But we will get this clue. And then we'll use this effect. Draw 3 cards. Ready for anything? A Lion Weight and a Guts. All right. And then last action, we'll move down here to the guest hall. 1 Shroud, no clues. Can't take draw actions here. Okay. Do I actually stay to potentially use the draw 3 next turn as well? If I do, then what would I be doing with my last action? Drawing another card? I am, of course, looking for Crowbar or Flashlight. So maybe we don't move yet. On the other hand, I do have Greta, and I just need being able to kill some enemies. No, I'm going to not move. We're going to roll that back. Nothing random happened. And I am going to use our last action to draw another card. And of course, we get the Silver Twilight Acolyte. Well, all right, we're losing a round. Fine. The Silver Twilight Acolyte attacks. I take a damage. We add a doom to the agenda. Great. You love to see it. Now, this is not an attack of opportunity provoked, so I can use Daniela to deal a damage to it. And then I can use the service revolver. It doesn't exhaust for its ability to shoot it. And we are 7 against 2. 5 up, -2 is a pass. He's defeated. He cost us a round and a damage. That's just kind of hilarious. Okay, we upkeep. And there's the wrench. All right, well, we got 1 bullet left in this, and then we can replace it with the wrench. Still not an investigate tool, but hey, what you going to do? You're going to advance the agenda. That's what you're going to do. I have to either discard a card at random from my hand or take 2 horror. I'd rather not discard that wrench. And I do have a horror heal here and ready for anything, so we'll take 2 horror. Excuse me, we'll put 1 on Greta. Okay. And now we draw our encounter card, which is a swarm of rats. Oops. Fight 1, health 1, evade 3, hunter. Okay. All right, well, I mean, we've got it for just this sort of situation. We are going to spend our first action to play ready for anything. Does not provoke attacks of opportunity. I draw an enemy, so I draw 2 cards, then heal a horror. There's Flashlight, and I heal a horror. All right. Again, it's not Crowbar, but it will do for these first couple of rounds. Now, I think we just punch these rats. We're testing 6 against 1. Elder Sign. Daniela's is +1. If you were attacked by an enemy this round, you automatically succeed instead. Not one of the better Elder Signs, but it's enough to defeat these rats. And now, last action, now that we have a flashlight, now we will move, and we'll plan to play it and use it next round. All right. No enemies on the board. We upkeep into the Mob Goons, just getting all my weaknesses out of the way at the beginning of the game. Great, thanks. 1 of 7 Doom. Our encounter card is Ancient Evils. We're putting a Doom on the agenda. We're at 2 of 7. Oh, brother. All right. Mob Goons. Fight 3, health 3, evade 3. Their attacks can't be canceled. Their damage and horror is treated as direct. I think what I do is I want to play either the flashlight or the wrench, which will trigger an attack of opportunity. Which will let me use the last bullet in service revolver. And I'll commit vicious blow to it to defeat them in one go. I think that is the play. What I'm pausing about is, do I want the wrench or the flashlight? The wrench, of course, will be the replacement weapon. And the flashlight will let me investigate. But if I play the flashlight, then I can move and pick up a clue. But then I won't have a weapon for if another enemy spawns. But if I play the wrench, then I'll be out of money. I could move, I could take a resource and play the flashlight and use it the following round. We've lost so much tempo from the Silver Twilight Acolyte and from the Ancient Evils. I think we need to move more quickly. So I think I need to play the flashlight. So we're planning to play the flashlight. That triggers an attack of opportunity from the Mob Goons. Damage and horror, which is direct. But it allows me to fire with the service revolver. 7 against 3. Commit vicious blow to be 8 on 3. Skull is 0. We do 3 damage. Defeated. Okay. And now we finally get the flashlight into play. And now we'll move to the bathroom. 1 shroud, 1 clue. If you reveal a symbol while investigating, you lose your actions and end your turn. Good thing we're investigating here on our last action. With the flashlight, we're testing 1 against 0. 0 is a pass. We get that clue. All right. Okay. No enemies on the board. We upkeep into Glory. Where were you the last few rounds while I defeated enemies? It's fine. I wouldn't have the resources for it anyway. Mythos, we're at 3 of 7. We're speed running Night of the Zealot and not in the way we want. What did I just say? 4 of 7. Like, my goodness. All right. Well, let's get the last clue. We're going to move once back to the guest hall. Move a second time down to the bedroom. 2 shroud, 1 clue. If you fail while investigating, you discard a card at random from your hand. Last action, investigate with the flashlight. 1 against 0. Skull is again a 0. We get this clue as well. We'll be able to advance next round. All right. No enemies on the board. We upkeep into a dodge. Okay. Lie in Wait is fast, but has no timing on when it can be played. I can never remember. I believe there's a... It might not be a rule, but the accepted community understanding to read this as fast play during a free trigger window during your turn. I can't recall without looking it up. I'm going to use that ruling. I do want to play this, but I want to play it when I get to the hallway after advancing. So, all right, that was our upkeep. Mythos, we're at Are we really already at 5 of 7 Doom? I mean, we've lost 3 rounds. How many rounds have we played? 3. There's 4 cards in the discard, so that's 4 Mythos plus 3. I guess we have. Hold on, I'm going to pause and check to make sure I'm not cheating myself of a round. No, that is indeed where we're at. 5 of 7 Doom. This is some nonsense that's happening. What's our encounter card? Dissonant Voices. Can't play assets or events this round. I mean, I want to play assets and events. So that's a little frustrating, but at least we can spend the round productively moving instead. Okay. So we're going to move back to the guest hall. Now we're going to spend our 3 clues and advance the act. Do a bunch of stuff. Let's put the hole in the wall into play. All right. We move... Oh, the wrong thing. We move there, reveal it, then I do this willpower test. So we automatically move into the hole in the wall. We have to put the parlor in play, and we collapse the waveform of the attic and the cellar. There's 2 versions. We've just randomized which we get. And now we have to test willpower 4, which point we fail by discard a card at random from my hand. I'm going to commit guts to this. So we're testing 6 against 4. -1 is a pass. We don't discard. Instead, we draw a hard-boiled. Okay. I think we keep moving since I can't play anything. We're going to move up to the attic, which might be 1 shroud. So let's move up here. It is indeed 1 shroud, 2 clues, victory 1. After you enter, take a horror. Well, we're not happy about taking that horror, I can tell you that. But we can at least use our last flashlight supply to investigate 1 against 0. And of course we auto-fail. Why wouldn't we auto-fail? All right. No enemies on the board. We upkeep into a take heart. And Dissonant Voices discards. Mythos. We're at 6 of 7 Doom. We have more rats. All right. Well, at least this will enable us to get 1 of these clues. Okay. So we're going to punch rats. We're 6 against 1. We're going to auto-fail. You hate to see it. We're going to punch rats. 6 against 1. -2 is a pass. We defeat the rats. We exhaust Greta and put a damage on her. Really silly to do this in Shroud 1, but I need every edge I can get given how things are going. And we're going to spend... wrong card. My goodness. We're going to spend a resource to play Glory. We defeated an enemy. We'll draw 2 cards. I believe I can then right away... We're still in the window of after you defeat an enemy. So I think I can play this evidence that I just drew. Again, silly to do so on Shroud 1, but I have no other tech for it. So at the moment. So yes. We're gonna get both of these Shroud 1 clues with testless effects. Fine. This is really silly. Okay. And then we're gonna move. We're gonna move back down to the hallway. Okay. No enemies on the board. We upkeep into another Glory. All right. Mythos, we're at 7 of 7. I would love to have Lie in Wait already in play, but I did not have the resources for it. We're about to draw a Ghoul. All right. This resets and advances. We shuffle the discard in the encounter deck. We discard till we get a ghoul, and we draw it. The Ghoul from the Depths. 3/4/2. Victory 1 spawns in the bathroom. Well, at least it's not an immediate problem. It is going to make its way to me, which means lie in wait will be meaningful. All right. Now we're at a Doom track of 10 on the last agenda. At the end of the enemy phase, every unengaged ghoul moves once towards the parlor. At the end of the round, you put a Doom on the agenda for every ghoul enemy in the hallway or parlor. Great! Encounter card. Children Below, Willpower 3 test. For every point you fail by, discard a card at random from your hand. For each card you can't discard, take a damage. I'm thinking about committing. I have a better than even chance of just passing the test. But I really don't want to discard the wrench. I'm thinking about putting a lie in wait here. After 2 rounds, this guy will move in here. I can use lie in wait to do a damage, maybe 2 to him. Then I could move down to the cellar, dodge his attack, and then finish him off with the wrench in the cellar and get... No, that's going to take a long time. It might be something I do after what I want is an enemy in the cellar, right? I could commit Take Heart, but that's a less than even chance of getting value out of it. I think what I do, I don't think I have time. Move, play the wrench. I don't think I have time to play this Rabbit's Foot. I'm going to commit the Rabbit's Foot, so we're testing 5 against 3. Cultist is -1. If you fail, take a horror. Fine. Okay. Right. Okay. All right, let's move... No. Let's play lie in wait while we're here. We will attach it to the hallway. That's fast. Does not take an action. Let's move down to the cellar. It's the original version. 4 Shroud, 2 Clues, Victory 1. When you enter, take a damage. Okay. I was kind of hoping for the alternate version, not gonna lie, where I could pass 1 clue, go get another clue for victory, and get it by fighting some rats. So, not so much in the way of luck. All right, so what we're going to do instead, we're going to investigate 1 against 4 and commit Take Heart. Skull is a 0. We fail. We get 2 cards and 2 resources. Overpower, Second Gret, and 2 resources. Okay. And now we play the wrench, and I'll discard the service revolver. 2 crowbars, bottom third of the deck. All right, great. Enemies. So that guy doesn't hunt, but he does move at the end of the enemy phase. So he moves here into the guest hall. And we're into upkeep. There's a crowbar. I am 2 resources short of being able to play it. Sure. No problem. Mythos. We're at 1 of 10 Doom. Our encounter card is Rotting Remains. It's willpower 3. For each point you fail by, take a horror. Hate that. 4 on 3. I think I commit this hard-boiled to be 5 on 3. -1 is a pass. Okay. I could take 2 resources and play the Crowbar. But then the ghoul from the depths is going to move into the hallway. He's going to add another doom. I can use lion weight to hit him. Sure. But that's not going to kill him. If I move back up, he'll move in. I can still use lion weight. Then he'll be engaged with me. Then I could move, play dodge to avoid his attack. I can't use Daniela's ability, but I could then still kill him with the wrench the following round, which will get me a clue using Greta. And we'll also have killed the guy. I will need to take another damage. 2 flesh wards also in the bottom 9 cards of the deck, by the way. I'm going to need the resources. I do think that is the play. I don't love it, but I think it's the play. So, we're going to move back into the hallway. And I'm going to take 2 resources for my last 2 actions. I need them to play things. Enemies. This guy moves in at the end of the enemy phase. So after attacks. So he doesn't make an attack now. I can use lion weight after he enters. So we're going to fight with fist. So we'll be testing 6 against 3. And I am going to discard it because I need to do 2 damage. So, and discard lion weight. We're testing 6 on 3. He does have retaliate. So we're going to commit an overpower to be 8 on 3. -2 is a pass. We do 2 damage. And we draw a card, which is another service revolver. Okay. All right. We upkeep. There's Flesh Ward. At the end of the round, because there is a ghoul here in the hallway, we add a doom. And now we get into Mythos. We add another doom. We're at 3 of 10. Another ghoul. Acolyte of Umordoth. Ugh. Well, that's not great. Okay. Okay. I think we can... I see a path. The path is this. We're going to exhaust the wrench to make the Acolyte of Umordoth attack. And I'll play dodge to cancel it. But we can use Daniela's ability. And we will deal it a damage. Because that's not an attack of opportunity. The wrench works differently and synergizes with Daniela's ability. Now we will attack the Acolyte with the wrench. Since it has attacked me, I can do this. And I'm testing 8 combat against its 3. -2 is a pass. This guy's defeated. And... I'm not going to play Glory. I think I need the resources. All right, second action, we're going to move down to the cellar. And I'm really taking on the chin. So now I have to take this attack, a damage and a horror. And when I return to the cellar, I have to take another damage. We are not doing well. We have 2 health and 2 sanity left. But now he's attacked, so now we can use the wrench to fight him, which we're going to do. So we're testing 8 against 3. 0 is a pass. We do 2 damage with the wrench. This guy is defeated. And we're going to exhaust Greta, and deal her a damage to discover one of these clues. And I am going to play Glory. Draw 2 cards. Second Crowbar. Dodge. Dodge is important here. Okay. No enemies on the board. We upkeep. Vicious Blow. Good. Mythos. 4 of 10 doom. Our encounter card. It's the Icy Ghoul who spawns in the cellar. Okay. I mean, this will let me get the last clue with Gret if I can kill the damn thing. Oh, but I need to let it attack me. Oh, but I have a dodge. I still have a dodge. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. I'm in the cellar, so it spawns with me. Fight 3 health, 4 of 8, 4. So I could use the wrench to have it attack me, play dodge, and then I could hit it twice. I also could use the wrench to have it attack me and play... Or I could play something else I want and let it attack me. Since technically I don't need... Well, no, I was going to say I don't need the extra damage from Daniela to kill it. Let's think this through. Ghoul Priest has 5 health. I need some more soak since I'm using both of my dodges. I'm going to need... I think I'm going to need to play a second Greta Wagner, quite honestly. I could get the Service Revolver out. If I get the Service Revolver alongside the wrench, I'm thinking ahead to fighting the Ghoul Priest, and I survive an attack from the Ghoul Priest, then the Revolver can do 2, the wrench can do 2. I still would love... No, it's still probably better for me to hang on to the Vicious Blow so that I can defeat the Ghoul Priest in 2 attacks. Right? That probably makes the most sense. But, no. I could use Daniela's ability to do the 5th damage. I just need to survive the attack. I do need to get another Gret out, which means... Have I seen both of my emergency caches? No. Second E-cache is in these last 4 cards. Okay. All right. Okay. We're going to use the wrench to make this attack. we're going to play dodge to cancel the attack. We will use Daniela's ability to put a damage on it. We will attack with the wrench. We're swinging 8 against 3. I'm going to commit Vicious Blow to be 9 against 3. Cultist -1. If you fail, take a horror. I should move this ready cards and play area. It's making it difficult to read the text when that shows up. Well, we did 3 damage. So this guy is also into the victory display. And we can exhaust and defeat Greta to get this last clue. Against all odds, we've gotten 4 victory points. Now we just need to survive. Okay. One moment. And we're back. Apologies for the interruption. We had just defeated the Icy Ghoul and lost Greta to get the last clue down here, so we no longer have Combat 5. And now we need to brace for impact, and hopefully the game will give us enough rounds without an enemy to prepare. We have what we need to prepare. We just need the time to do it. So, I think we take a resource, and then we play Flesh Ward. I need, 100% need some additional soak. There's another E-Cache coming. There's another Lion Weight coming. I want to play this Service Revolver over this Flashlight. Let's see. Let's see if the game lets us do these things. All right, no enemies on the board. We upkeep into. Well, there's my emergency cache. Good. Mythos. We are at 5 of 10 Doom. There are no enemies on the board. We draw. The corpse-hungry ghoul from the bedroom. This is a problem, because he's going to hunt normally. And then at the end of the enemy phase is going to be here, which is going to add a Doom. 6, 7. And then... oh. I have like 2 rounds left if I'm lucky. Okay. All right. I don't know if there's time. He does 2 damage and 2 horror. Okay. All right. Well, we play emergency cache. We need the resources. I see 2 paths. Path 1, take a resource, play Greta. Corpse-hungry ghoul will end up here. We will then be at 7 of 10 Doom. I absolutely then would need to kill the corpse-hungry ghoul next round and spawn the ghoul priest next round. Could I do that? I would need to walk in on the corpse-hungry ghoul. It has 3 health. I could have it attack using the wrench. Deal 2 damage and 1 horror, which all go on Greta. Defeat it with the wrench. Then I'd have 1 more action. Which theoretically would be to take a resource and then play a Lion Weight. If I get the second Lion Weight, which I might, do have an overpower that could get me to 1 more card. So it could happen. Alternatively, I could play the Service Revolver and move. I won't have Greta. It will move in. It will be engaged with me. It won't attack. No, but if I let it attack me, this is the problem of it being a machete. can't let it attack me because then I'll be defeated. I think I need to take the resource and play Greta. All right. Second Greta. Don't love it, but I think it's what I have to do. Enemy phase. Corpse Hungry Ghoul hunts normally into the guest hall. Then end of the enemy phase, he moves again into the hallway. Okay. We upkeep. Second Flesh Ward. I was hoping for the Lion Weight. One of my last two cards. All right. Because there's a ghoul in the hallway, we add a Doom here. Then in the Mythos, we add our regular Doom. We're at 7 of 10. Counter card is a Rotting Remains. Test Willpower 3. For each point you fail by, take a horror. Is this going to kill us? We're going to commit this other Flesh Ward that I don't have time to play. So we're testing 5 on 3. -1 is a pass. Okay. Now, we do the plan I described. We move into the hallway. Corpse Hungry Ghoul engages. We use the wrench to make it attack us. It does a whopping 2 damage and 2 horror. We exhaust Flesh Ward and spend a charge to cancel 1 horror. We put the 2 damage and 1 horror on Greta. We use Daniela's ability to deal a damage back to the ghoul. Now we attack with the wrench. We're swinging 8 against 4. Now, if I commit Overpower, there's a 50-50 chance I get the second Lion Weight. And if I do that and succeed, then I could take a resource with my last action and then play Lion Weight before my turn ends. And that's another 2 damage I can do to the Ghoul Priest. Alternately, I save the Overpower for actually fighting the Ghoul Priest. Because I don't have time to play the Service Revolver. Use the wrench. Make the Ghoul Priest. The Ghoul Priest also does 2 damage and 2 horror, which will kill Greta. Oh, well, I could have it kill the Flesh Ward instead. And put the 1 remaining on Daniela. I have just enough. And I still have the extra plus, and then I'd be swinging 8 against the Ghoul Priest's 4. So I'm still 4 up. Okay, yes, I am going to commit the Overpower to flip the coin, hopefully, and get the 50-50 shot of the Lion Weight. Because that's another attack that I might need. The timing on this. Attacked you since the end of your last turn. Okay, that's fine. Right. Okay, so we're what? 10 against 4. Here we go. -1 is a pass. We do 2 more damage with the wrench, so this guy goes into the victory display. We draw a card from Overpower. It's Lion Weight. Okay. Last action, take a resource, and then fast play Lion Weight and reattach it to our location. We're resetting our trap. We've got a bucket of water over the door for when the Ghoul Priest comes in. Are we just barely squeaking this out? We're about to find out. The game could still dumpster us. No enemies in the board. We upkeep into our very last card, which is a Guts. We drew through our deck exactly. Now, at the end of the round, when the round ends, we spend 3. Right-click to specify 3, and we advance. Reveal the parlor, put Lita there, no time to talk to her, spawn the Ghoul Priest on us. Whoops, not what I want. Okay, so Lita Chandler, cause of all the problems is here, we reveal the parlor. Ghoul Priest spawns on us, which immediately triggers Lion Weight, So I get to do a fight. I'll be swinging 7 against its 4. And I'm going to discard Lion Weight to make this do an extra damage. 7 on 4. We're going to commit one of these crowbars to be 8 on 4. 0 is a pass, and that's 2 damage. Okay. Now, there's a ghoul in the hall, so that adds a doom. Now we go to Mythos. Very last doom, 9 of 10. It's another ghoul. I got real scared. When that card came out, the color palette made me think Ancient Evils, and I just lost. But no, it's just another ghoul with the same color palette. Hopefully, we can ignore him, because now all I need to do, Daniela's ability works on elites. I use the wrench to make the Ghoul Priest attack. 2 damage and 2 horror. We exhaust Flesh Ward and spend a charge to make it 2 damage and 1 horror. 1 damage and 1 horror goes on Flesh Ward and defeats it. 1 damage goes on Daniela. We have 1 health and 2 sanity left, and Greta Wagner is hanging on for dear life. But we use Daniela's ability to deal the damage back to the Ghoul Priest. And now we just need to nail 1 hit with the wrench. We're swinging 8 against 4. Here we go. -2 is a pass. 2 damage. This guy is in the victory display. And we advance. Whew. Wow. All the way down to the very last round. Drew through the entire deck. I've played a lot of Return to the Night of the Zealot, Return to the Gathering. That ranks up there with one of the most intense sessions of Return to the Gathering I've played. Now, do we burn down our house or do we refuse? So, I've been thinking about this, and I'm not sure there's a best answer. The classic is, of course, to accept burning down the house, which gets you Lita Chandler. Let's pull her over and take a look at her. Into your deck, who is, of course, busted at a 0-cost ally, 3 and 3. Boost Fist, extra damage when attacking monsters. The payment is you take a mental trauma, which is not great for 8 and 6. But, I mean, could be worse, could be 9 and 5. And there will be no Your House location in Midnight Masks. Your House location really does help for a good start to Midnight Masks because it's an easy clue. It is a boosted draw plus resource action you can take at the outset. So, having played Midnight Masks both with and without Your House, it really is more challenging to get rid of it. On the flip side, though, Lita Chandler boosts Fist. And the card pool that I have, the only allies, there's nothing else. There are no other allies that boost Fist available to Daniela. I'm going to have to check if there's any in Midwinter Gala. I forget what all those allies do. I'll have to look that up. But I think just to get another plus combat ally and all that soak, I mean, I need to find Lita and play her, but she is cost 0. I think we burn the house down. Resolution 1. Whew. All right. Resolution 1. Your house, not your horse. Sorry, Pax, my horse is burned to the ground. All right. We are in Lita Chandler. And we take a mental trauma, which is not great, but we take it. And now we get victory plus 2 bonus. We actually got 7. We got 3 somehow, even without On the Hunt or similar. We managed to get 3 of the victory point ghouls, plus the Ghoul Priest, plus both victory locations for 7, plus another 2. We have 9 experience to spend. I don't know what I'm spending it on. I have to think that through. All right, well, that is Return to the Gathering. Next week, we will be doing the Midnight Masks with whatever Daniel Quick Learner and the other organizers have cooked up. As of this recording, I have not looked at what they have going. I'm sure I'm going to hate it in the best way possible. All right, well, that's it. See you next time, and watch this space for some Arkham Horror like it's April 2019 coming up soon. Till then, take it easy, everyone.